Hey, I thought I'd do a little quick voice commentary for this. I know it's kind of hard to grasp the mechanics from raw gameplay, but when a game like this comes out, I'd like to do raw gameplay because some people don't like commentary. I know people can ramble. I'm definitely not innocent of that either. I ramble sometimes. Sometimes people just want to see the game. I'm the same way. You know, when I see an indie game like this from an unknown developer, sometimes I just want to see the gameplay. I don't want to see someone talking, and a lot of times you encounter channels that don't really know anything about the genre. You can't really get an educated opinion on what the game is like or how it controls and stuff like that. I know people know that I'm experienced in this genre. I've been playing these pretty much my whole life, so I wanted to kind of go over the mechanics a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and play through the first level again. I remember how to get there. Now, there's actually quite a bit of unlockables in this. It's not just a straight beat 'em up. I'm sure you remember Streets of Fury EX, how much I played that game. It's kind of similar to that. There's a lot of different things that you can unlock. Apparently there's all these characters. I haven't even scratched the surface of that yet. You have a bunch of moves that you can unlock as well. When you finish a level, you get a chance of unlocking a character or a move. And I assume that these carry over to the other characters as well, but I'm not too sure about that. Now this game has some problems. I should mention this right now. There's a couple problems with the way that it controls. The first thing is that unless you mess around with the Steam Beta client, the controls are automatically mapped to the analog stick, which is one of the reasons why, if you look at the reviews and stuff, some people are saying that they can't get the specials to come out. I think that's mostly because, I don't know, analog sticks don't really work really well for games like this. The only time I've ever had a good experience with using an analog stick on a side-scrolling stylish action game was Dishwasher. And the controls in this are actually quite similar to the Dishwasher, but if you use the Steam Beta client, you can very easily reset the controls. You can map the analog stick to the D-pad, which is what I'm actually doing right now. The other problem with the game is, I'll go ahead and I'll go into the actual level so you guys can see. The dash has quite a bit of cooldown. It's not like something like Bayonetta or like Dishwashers. You can draw a lot of comparisons to the Dishwasher. All three of you played that. The dash in that was very responsive, which helped with the speed of the combat. In this, sometimes you will pass through an enemy with the dash, and you're stuck in this long animation. Like, unless you do this dash attack, you can't really do an action out of it too fast. Like, here's how fast you can do it. There's a lot of cooldown. If you don't want to use this dash attack, if it's not the right situation for it, it can be very difficult to get the action that you want out in time. The other problem is that the boss stagger system, I'm sure you guys are going to want to know about that. You can combo the bosses, it's just, it seems very random. If you land a critical hit is very much like a just attack. If you push the attack button, or the square button, or X button, whatever controller you're using, you push it at the exact time that they attack, your character will do a special punch and they will get launched into the juggle state. But there are no indicators for it at all. It's not like Bayonetta, where you play on anything but the hardest difficulty. The game has indicators that you can learn the timings of the attacks and build up the muscle memory, which is why that mechanic works so well. Eventually you just have the muscle memory. As soon as you see them rev up or you hear the noise, then you know when to dodge. Here you don't really have that luxury, so the bosses, they seem to just stagger at random. I haven't really been able to figure out the formula yet. It doesn't feel as refined as it should. It feels like there should be, maybe they should flash blue or red, or there should be like an icon above their head to indicate when to get the crit. That would make the bosses flow a lot better. In this game, all supers are invincible, both yours and the enemies. So if the boss does a super that has a long animation, you basically have to dodge it, and you don't really have that many options. You have a dive kick. The dive kick's actually pretty good. It's like standard, the dive kick that you hate in fighting games, the one that staggers and you can combo after. You have this, which is like your pursuit move, but you can also use it as an air dash. only do one unless you're in a combo. So the defensive options are honestly not that great. Feels like it's missing maybe a block or a parry or some kind of witch time mechanic would make things a little more satisfying than the way it is now. But otherwise, it's great. They did not do early access for this, as far as I know. It is a Chinese game, so I don't really know the developers. Maybe they had some test builds for Chinese forums or something, but they pretty much just dumped it on Steam. And I think for a game like this, where if you have any prior experience in these games at all, you can easily rip apart the mechanics, which is why I decided to do a commentary video, because I know you're probably going to find a lot of other videos where people are not passionate about that stuff. The mechanics are solid, they're just a little flawed. It's basically nothing that they couldn't fix with a patch, a patch or two. They probably wouldn't even have to really tweak the animations for the sprites that much. They could probably use some of the existing animations and maybe make the combat a little better. So I'll play through this level with the mic on. Here's the controls. So there's three trigger buttons are basically unused. They could definitely put like a block on there or some other kind of resource. There is kind of like an X Factor type mode where you seem to go faster and stuff like that, but it doesn't really seem to affect how often you can stagger the bosses. So that whole mechanic feels a little bit flawed. It is useful for the regular enemies, but for the bosses it doesn't really seem that great. You seem to be able to stagger the bosses much faster and more consistently if you just use supers instead. So I'll try to use that mechanic as well. The translation, obviously, it's not that great. You can tell English is not their first language, but if you're playing a stylish beat-em-up for the story, I really don't know what to tell you, so you can't really hold that against it. There's a crit. It'll show some of the moves here. You get kind of eased in, but there is no training mode, which is kind of odd. The combo system is so robust, and I can tell, especially with having all these extra characters and stuff, I think it's going to be really hard to learn them without just kind of randomly playing the game. It does have some polished issues. It feels like a training mode should be a given, but there isn't one in the game right now, so you will pretty much just have to experiment on the regular enemies. You're not going to have an easy way. It's not like Streets of Fury EX where you can go in training mode for half an hour and you can play a couple levels and have a pretty good grasp of the character. Here you pretty much just have to play through the game. Goes without saying, the pixel art's really good. Indie pixel art games are a dime a dozen right now, but I really like the art style of this. Kind of see how the critical mechanic is flawed. It's very satisfying to pull off, but since there's no real tell for any of the animations or where the exact time it's supposed to push it, it doesn't feel as varied as it should, or as reliable as it should. So the specials are a little different from most modern beat 'em ups. You actually have to do motions for them. If you play DFO like I do, then you'll have no problems with it. But like I said, default map to the analog stick. All movements map to the analog stick. So if you're somebody who can play beat 'em ups on an analog stick, then more power to you. But I'm enjoying it a lot more on the D-pad. You just have to download the Steam Beta client, and you probably find some good guides for that. I'll actually look around on YouTube. If I can't find one, then I'll make one really quick. You can see how varied the combos are, but the problem is you can't really practice them. You pretty much just have to kind of keep playing the game. It does kind of go hand in hand with how old school the design is supposed to be, but it does feel a little odd. Like, I just learned some new stuff just making this video right now. It would be a lot easier to learn those if there was a resource provided in the game, but you'll definitely have to lab monster this game, and you'll have to do it the inconvenient way, which is just playing the game a lot. If you play Devil May Cry at a high level, I'm sure you're very used to that. DMC4 still does not have a training mode outside of cheat engines and the trainer that the high-level players use and stuff like that. It's very similar to that. Obviously, it's not a deal breaker. I mean, people have been playing DMC4 for almost a decade now without any kind of training mode, at least the people that play on consoles. So I don't really know if you can call it a disadvantage. It's more of an inconvenience. See, here's the Endura mechanic, but it doesn't really seem to do a whole lot on bosses. Like, you get hyper armor and you move a little faster. So there is local co-op. I know people, or online co-op. I know people complain about this on every single beat 'em up that gets launched on Steam. Like, even if it's an old PC game or something, like, people just complain incessantly about it. This game actually has it, but it doesn't seem to be working right now. Actually, here's one. So the workshop is basically Bloody Palace. It seems like there's some unlockables tied to it. You go here. If you get to the 15th wave, you will get a character. If you go to the 30th wave, you'll get one too. It's pretty fun, but how awkward the bosses are kind of makes it feel a little less fun than it should. I hope with some patches that they'll be able to tweak it a little bit. The game is just a little bit off of being great. I know a lot of games like this are like that, but I think this game is incredibly impressive for something that was not in early access. I think they could have put this in early access with like one level every 3 weeks or something, and they could have gotten some feedback. The game would have been great. But the fact that they didn't do that, they just released a full game, and it's actually pretty polished, is really impressive. I hope that they're open to doing patches. I actually left them a couple paragraphs on their forums with feedback, and I hope that they'll take that to heart. I hope some other people will support me on there. If you buy the game, I'll go ahead and I'll link to the thread in the description if you guys buy it. You guys can give me some support, some upvotes or whatever, and we can make this into the next Hot Beat 'em Up. Anyway, that's my little commentary for it. The rest of the videos I do for this is probably just going to be mic muted. It depends on what you guys want. Once I learn the mechanics a little better, I'll probably